Tonight, Edward Kenway finally learns how to crouch manually. I get completely distracted by the lovely ray-traced water. And we all realize we can't panic stab our way out of a sword fight anymore. Welcome back to the channel, sailors! On July 9th, 2026, Ubisoft finally handed us back the keys to the Jackdaw with Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. And let's get one thing straight right out of the harbor. This is not some lazy remaster with a shiny upscaled coat of paint. This is a full-blown remake, built from the ground up in the modern Anvil engine. If you are firing this up on your PlayStation 5, it is an absolute stunner. You've got 3 graphical modes to choose from, including a balanced mode targeting 40 frames per second if you're rocking a 120Hz VRR display. The movement has been tweaked, so parkour flows much more naturally between jumps and swings, and those tedious modern-day Abstergo office sections completely binned, thrown overboard. They've been replaced with far more interesting narrative-driven sequences that delve directly into Edward's memory. Now, since we are here to claim that platinum trophy, there are a few fundamental changes to how we navigate the Caribbean this time around. First off, the Freedom Cry DLC has been completely removed from this version. That means our trophy list is 100% laser focused on our favorite Welsh pirate. However, you are going to need to rewire your muscle memory. The combat has been completely revised around more precise parries, and swords are now your absolute primary means of fighting. If you used to rely on spamming the hidden blade in open combat, you're out of luck. It is strictly restricted to stealth and contextual kills now. You also need to keep your wits about you because the ability to replay older missions has been removed entirely, so you'll want to soak in the story as it happens and be mindful of your manual saves. So pour yourself a rum, recruit some officers for the Jackdaw, and let's find out exactly what it takes to platinum this absolute masterpiece.
Lively Havana. I've been here once before. It was a truly awful pleasure.
Right, our first proper port of call on this tour of the Caribbean is none other than Havana. To kick off your trophy collection, you'll be aiming for lively Havana. Now, I say aiming for, but in reality, you'd have to actively try to fail this one. You earn this simply by surviving Steed Bonnet's absolute inability to blend in and completing Sequence 2, Memory 1. It is a story-related trophy, so unless you somehow manage to get hopelessly lost on a linear path, or you get utterly distracted by how gorgeous the new cobblestones look and simply refuse to follow the objective marker, this one will pop automatically as you escape the guards after the bar fight. Consider it a warm-up, a polite little "Welcome to the Caribbean, please don't stab the locals" from the developers. Grab it, enjoy the scenery, and let's move on.
Come on, let's give ear to their talk and recover my maps.
And my sugar?
What, in my drawers? We'll see what happens.
Next on our list, we have the Yo-Ho Trophy, which tasks you with expanding your crew's musical repertoire by learning a new sea shanty. Now, if you sync a viewpoint, your map will get peppered with these little white music note icons. If you decide to track one down, you will discover that these shanties are actually magical sentient pieces of paper that will actively flee from you the moment you get close. You can spend a good 10 minutes furiously chasing a sheet of parchment across the rooftops like an absolute madman, desperately trying to test out that newly refined parkour system. Or you could just do absolutely nothing. That's right, if you decide that chasing paper is beneath the dignity of a fearsome pirate captain, you can just wait. The game literally forces a new shanty into your brain automatically after you finish Sequence 8, Mission 1, Do Not Go Gently. So technically speaking, whether you are a dedicated rooftop sprinter or a remarkably lazy pirate who just waits for the plot to hand you things, this trophy is guaranteed to be yours. Ready for the next one? Send it over. Next up is a Poxy Bird, which sounds like a terrible tavern insult, but is actually the moment you finally stop walking around on dry land like a common peasant and take the helm of your very own ship. You will earn this trophy upon completing Sequence 2, Memory 6, which is the exact moment you officially become the captain of the legendary Jackdaw. Just like our lovely stroll through Havana, this is a completely story-related milestone. I mean, it is a pirate game. They weren't exactly going to make stealing a boat an optional side quest, were they? So just follow the main narrative, claim your ship, and get ready to spend the next 50 hours of your life staring at those gorgeous, physically based rendered water physics.
Lay aboard, lads!
Save your singing for Davy Jones, you jagabats! It's a hard wind coming!
The man speaks true. You lot weigh anchor. As for the rest, half on the foremast and half at the main. Let's outrun this hurricane!
Moving swiftly on, we arrive at the Smooth Operator Trophy, which you unlock for crafting your very first item. Now, you might think you need to scour the meticulously redesigned jungles of the new Anvil engine, risking life and limb against wild animals just to earn this. But no, the game politely holds your hand during Sequence 3, Mission 1, this Tyro Captain, and absolutely forces you to craft a pistol holster in a mandatory tutorial just to progress the narrative. It is entirely automatic, so congratulations! You are now a master leatherworker capable of turning dead wildlife into tactical accessories in the blink of an eye. If you fancy making more pouches to carry your violently acquired loot later on, the crafting section is permanently open for business in your inventory. Next on the list is Articles of Agreement, which is less about being a terrifying pirate captain and much more about being a highly lethal babysitter. As you wander around the habited islands or places like Havana, Nassau, or Kingston, you will occasionally see a little chain link symbol pop up on your map. This indicates a random street fight, which is Ubisoft's way of telling you that a group of your fellow pirates have gone to the pub, had far too much rum, and immediately gotten themselves captured by the local authorities. Your job is to sprint over there and bail them out by killing the guards before any of the pirates take a dirt nap. Now, because this is a random side activity, you can't just select it from a menu. You simply have to run around the areas until one organically spawns. When you do find one, don't mess about. Remember, the hidden blade is utterly useless in open combat now, so don't try to sneak up and poke everyone while your mates are being threatened. Go in loud, draw your swords, abuse those new parry mechanics, and clear the street as quickly as possible. Keep them all breathing and the trophy is yours. Right, next on the agenda is a little lesson in aggressive positioning called Backs to the Wall, which requires you to kill an enemy using a wall takedown. Now, you might think you need an actual brick wall or a cozy Havana alleyway to pull this off. You don't. As you can see, you can completely ignore dry land and do this right in the middle of a chaotic naval boarding. Since the combat in Resynced has been completely overhauled to focus on precise swordplay, you actually have to use your environment to your advantage. If you find yourself in a heated disagreement on the deck of a galleon, simply kick your opponent aggressively into the nearest mast, railing, or solid wooden bulkhead. Once he stumbles against the timber looking like he's had far too much tavern rum, you will see a beautifully convenient takedown prompt appear on screen. Hit the attack button, watch Edward perform a remarkably brutal contextual finisher using the ship's architecture, and the trophy is yours. You can pull this off practically anywhere there is a solid object, so feel free to spend the afternoon violently redecorating both the Caribbean islands and the Spanish fleet. Moving on to a trophy that actively encourages you to be absolutely terrible at your job as a stealthy assassin. It is called Silence Fool, and it requires you to kill a guard while he is ringing an alarm bell. To pull this off, you will want to head over to any warehouse on the map because the entire Caribbean security infrastructure in 1715 relies on these massive, highly accessible bells. Normally, the goal here would be to sneak in, perhaps utilize that crouch button, and quietly sabotage the bell. But not today. Today, you are going to stroll right through the front gate, make direct eye contact with the local militia, and politely wait for them to realize you aren't there to deliver the rum. Once they spot you, one of the guards will inevitably panic and leg it toward the bell to call for reinforcements. Now, remember that you can't just spam the hidden blade in open combat in this remake. You are going to have to use your swords and actively carve a path through the other guards to reach the coward in time. The moment he grabs the rope, introduce him to your cutlasses, chop him down mid-ring, and this delightfully straightforward trophy is all yours. It is time to give the Jackdaw exactly what every self-respecting pirate ship needs: more power. The next trophy on our list is Not So Little Friend, and it is your reward for figuring out how to set your cannonballs on fire. Now, you don't need to scour the ocean floor or raid a heavily fortified Spanish fortress to find the blueprint for this. You simply need to play through Sequence 3, Mission 6, Proper Defenses. This is another completely automatic, story-related trophy where the game forces you to learn how to swap your munitions just to survive the narrative. However, don't panic if it doesn't unlock the exact second you fire your first flaming shot. The trophy only actually pops after the mission completely wraps up and the memory finishes synchronizing. Once you have it, you can freely aim your broadside and swap over to the spicy munitions whenever you feel like utterly ruining a British captain's afternoon.
She's sailing for that island.
I know the place. A natural stronghold used by a French captain named Ducasse.
Julian Ducasse, the Templar.
Name's right. Didn't know he had a title.
I know the man. And if he sees my ship, he'll know it from his time in Havana, meaning he may wonder at who's sailing her now. I can't risk that.
And I don't want to lose that galleon. Let's think on it. And maybe wait till it's dark before hopping aboard.
Right, after spending hours sleeping on a damp wooden deck and getting constantly shouted at by your own crew, it is finally time for Edward to get his foot onto the Caribbean property ladder. The next trophy on our tour is Walls That Hold Back the Wind, which you earn for officially settling into your new home. You unlock this simply by completing Sequence 4, Memory 1. And yes, much like our lovely stroll through Havana, this is a completely automatic, story-related milestone. The best part is, you don't even have to worry about securing a mortgage or negotiating with 18th century real estate agents. You simply show up, aggressively permanently evict the previous occupant with your cutlasses, claim his massive private island estate for yourself, and the game kindly rewards you with a shiny trophy for your hostile takeover. It is completely unmissable. It gives you a lovely, upgradable base of operations to dump your hard-earned reales into, and it keeps us moving right along the main narrative. Moving on, we arrive at the Owned trophy. To earn this one, you need to prove your absolute dominance by completely clearing every single activity in one location. This means synchronizing every viewpoint, hunting down every errant sea shanty, and aggressively looting every single treasure chest on one specific island. It is a meticulous, exhaustive cleanup process. Frankly, it's the kind of tedious map clearing grind where you almost want to have somebody else with you doing half the work, but alas, Edward Kenway operates solo. However, if running around a dense jungle dodging iguanas doesn't sound appealing to you, you can actually bypass the island entirely. Finding all the treasure chests in a single sunken shipwreck location also completely satisfies the requirements for this trophy, so if you'd rather admire the expanded underwater exploration and those lovely new ray-traced lighting effects piercing through the ocean depths, just clear out a wreck instead. Strip the location entirely bare of its valuables, and this shiny trophy is yours. Now it is time to focus on what truly matters, making sure his ship looks absolutely fabulous while committing high seas piracy. The next trophy on our list is Dressing Overall, which tasks you with equipping a new cosmetic item in every single one of the Jackdaw's vanity slots. To pull this off, you will need to visit the Harbor Master at your newly acquired estate in Great Inagua. When you first arrive, his shop is in absolute state, so you'll need to hand over a measly 500 reales to rebuild it. Once that bit of civic engineering is sorted, wander over to him and open up the appearance menu. You need to change the design for all 5 slots: the sails, the figurehead, the hull, the wheel, and your crew's attire. Now, you could just throw your hard-earned cash at the Harbor Master and buy these cosmetics outright like a common merchant. But if you are a proper pirate, you'll know that the best outfits are the ones you violently acquire for free. You will naturally unlock plenty of these cosmetics simply by conquering the 11 island forts, sinking all 5 legendary ships, or aggressively kicking open treasure chests across the Caribbean. Swap out all 5 slots at once, admire your remarkably fashionable galleon bouncing the ray-traced reflections off its new hull, and the trophy is yours. It turns out that simply violently kicking open wooden boxes won't always work. For the Among Thieves trophy, you are going to need to figure out how to unlock a smuggler's chest, which actually requires a key. The most straightforward place to knock this out is inside Jigwe Cave. You'll swim into the cavern, admire the lovely ray-traced water reflections bouncing off the cave walls, and spot a locked chest sitting in the water right in the middle of the area. Now, to get the key, you simply need to mug the local residents. There is a group of smugglers hanging out in the cave, and the specific gentleman holding the key is the one standing directly next to the massive, terrifying brute. Simply introduce him to your newly overhauled sword parry mechanics, loot his pockets, and open the chest. If you happen to miss this one, don't panic. There are a total of 5 smugglers' chests scattered across the map inside various caves, and you will naturally reveal them all as you sail around unfogging those pesky little question mark icons on your map. Next up, we have a financial milestone that will make your bank account cry: business and pleasure, which requires you to spend a total of 50,000 reales throughout your pirate career. Now, you don't need to stress about saving your pennies or hunting down a specific high-end luxury item for this one. This should happen entirely naturally while you are working your way toward other trophies. Between upgrading the Jackdaw to handle those terrifying legendary ships, buying up every building and tavern in Great Inagua to turn your private island into a proper luxury resort, and stocking up on supplies from local merchants, you'll burn through 50,000 reales before you even realize it. Just keep playing, keep spending your hard-earned plunder like a true sailor, and this economic achievement will unlock all on its own. Next on our list is a lesson in proper naval survival called Old Ironsides, which requires you to perform 3 perfect braces. Now, before you go trying to pull this off during your next sea battle, there is a very important catch. You cannot just do this straight out of the box. If you try to brace before recruiting the brand new officer Lucy Baldwin, your crew will just absorb the full brunt of the cannon fire like a bunch of amateurs, and it won't count toward the trophy at all. To unlock the magic perfect brace ability, you first need to complete Lucy's first 2 officer quests, a proper shipwright and the one with the gun. Both become available right after Sequence 4, Mission 1, This Old Cove. Just open your map, find her quests marked at Salt Key Bank coordinates 446, 620, and get them sorted. Once Lucy is safely on board your crew, head back out to sea. During your next naval skirmish, hold down the brace button just before incoming enemy fire impacts your hull. Your crew will duck down, pull off a flawless maneuver that negates most of the damage, and bring you one step closer to mastering the high seas. Do that 3 times, and this prestigious naval trophy is yours.
I'm your passage out of here. Quickly.
I don't know you from Blind Bart.
I need a shipwright, and you're in need of better lodgings. That's it, time to go. It's me or the Hangman.
You make a fine argument. Lead on.
Now, on our voyage, we have Strike the Colors, which requires you to hunt down and board a lead convoy ship. As you sail the open seas, you will occasionally spot white ship icons pop up on your map labeled as lead convoy. Keep in mind, these are timed events. They won't wait around for you to finish sightseeing or admiring the new ray-tracked ocean reflections, so if you see one, you need to chase it down before it despawns and pops up somewhere else. When you hover over the icon, it will explicitly tell you to board lead convoy ship. Catch up to the merchant vessel, reduce its health down to a manageable sliver with your broadsides, sail right alongside it, and initiate the boarding sequence. Now, a quick word of warning: the trophy doesn't pop the exact second your boots hit their deck. You actually have to finish the job by completing all the boarding objectives, taking out the enemy captain, or clearing out the crew. Once the dust settles and you officially conquer the vessel, the trophy is yours. Next on our list is a trophy that proves Edward Kenway is entirely unsuited for a traditional Spanish bullfighting career, but makes for an exceptionally entertaining pirate. It is called Matador, and it requires you to dodge a total of 3 charge attacks by a wild pig. To find your porcine opponents, simply look for the white pig icon scattered across the jungle islands. Once you track one down and aggro the beast, you need to stand your ground and wait for it to telegraph its signature red charge attack. When it comes hurtling straight at you like a furry cannonball, time your dodge just right. The game will trigger a gorgeous slow motion effect as you leap gracefully out of the way, leaving the confused animal to crash headfirst into the nearest piece of scenery. The best part? You don't need to pull off 3 flawless dodges in a row, and you don't even need to find 3 different animals. You can bully the exact same poor dizzy pig 3 separate times, completely missing a few dodges in between while you recover your composure. Evade the charge, enjoy the slow-mo action, and claim your shiny new trophy. Now we take a culinary approach to the Caribbean with Glutton for Nourishment, a trophy that forces Edward Kenway to discover the healing power of randomly abandoned soup bowls and forest berry bushes. To earn this, you need to consume a total of 20 food items scattered across the open world. Now, there is a catch. Edward has the constitution of an ox and refuses to eat if he is already feeling completely healthy. You can only interact with food when your health bar has taken a bit of a battering. If you manage to finish the entire story without eating your body weight in wilderness snacks, don't worry. The absolute fastest way to farm this is to raid a storehouse. Let the local militia turn you into a pincushion until your health drops into the red, and then ruthlessly hoover up every bowl of soup or berry bush you can find in the compound. Just make sure you are eating actual environmental food though. Those handy healing flasks you chug on the fly don't seem to count toward your dietary requirements. Stuff your face, heal those battle wounds, and let's move on to the next piece of plunder. Next on our hit list is Help a Brother Out, which requires you to complete a full Templar hunt sequence and rid the Caribbean of some rather unpleasant ideological extremists. Once you wrap up sequence 4, mission 1, This Old Cove, 4 distinct Templar hunt storylines automatically unlock across the map, led by Rona Dinsmore, Anto, Upton Travers, and Opia Apito. On your world map, these quests are marked by prominent exclamation point icons. To earn this trophy, you don't need to clear all 4 quest lines right away. You simply need to pick one hunt, whichever one catches your eye, and play through all 4 of the connected missions, which ultimately culminate in hunting down and assassinating the local Templar agent. Follow the trail, outsmart your targets, and once that final Templar takes their last breath, the trophy is yours.
I'm sorry, Rona.
Cocky fool he was. Do me a kindness, Edward. Keep this to yourself.
I'm forgiven for all my past indiscretions then.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Next on our list is a trophy that lets Edward channel his inner action hero and brings a whole new meaning to 18th century tactical combat, Gun-kata. To pull off this John Wick style feat, you need to use your pistols to kill 4 enemies in a row within 5 seconds. Now, before you go trying to rapid fire your way through a street fight, you have a little bit of preparation to do. You'll need to upgrade your pistol holster all the way to maximum level 4, which gives you the glorious privilege of carrying 4 loaded flintlocks on your chest at once. Once your arsenal is fully maxed out, find a group of unsuspecting guards, lock onto your targets, and fire away. Every single shot has to connect and secure a kill. If you miss even once, the agonizingly slow flintlock reload animation will completely blow your 5-second window, and you'll be left fumbling with gunpowder while the guards introduce you to the business end of a bayonet. Make every bullet count, drop 4 targets in the blink of an eye, and claim your trophy. Next is Collective Madness, which requires you to build a corporate empire on the high seas by adding one of every single ship class to Kenway's fleet. Kenway's fleet unlocks during Sequence 4, allowing you to interact with the strategy table in the Great Inagua Manor and send ships out on lucrative trade missions across the Atlantic. But before your shipping business can take off, you actually have to acquire the inventory. There are 4 distinct classes of ships roaming the Caribbean: the nippy little schooner, the agile brig, the heavy frigate, and the absolute floating fortress that is the Man-O-War. While you're sailing around, you can press the zoom button to peer through your spyglass and identify what class a ship is before you pick a fight. Hunt down one of each class, reduce their hull integrity, board them, and choose the option to send them back to your fleet. Keep in mind that you don't even need to hoard all 4 at the exact same time. Just sending each class to your fleet once over the course of your playthrough is enough to check this one off the list. Expand your corporate fleet, rake in those reals, and let's keep moving. Sticking with our nautical death-defying tour, we have Unsinkable, a trophy that asks you to survive a direct side impact from one of Mother Nature's absolute angriest creations, a rogue wave. During heavy ocean storms, you'll occasionally spot these massive, towering walls of water rearing up around you. While your natural instinct as a competent captain is to turn your bow directly into the wave so you don't flip your floating death trap over, this trophy explicitly requires you to do the exact opposite. You need to let a rogue wave smash squarely into the side of your ship and live to tell the tale. To avoid ending up at the bottom of the ocean floor, make sure you slam down the brace button right before impact to absorb the worst of the devastation. Given how frequently the Caribbean weather likes to throw apocalyptic storms your way, you will probably unlock this completely naturally just by trying not to sink during normal exploration. Brace for impact, let the ocean do its worst, and claim your prize. Shifting focus to our crowd control tactics, we have Caught 'em All, a trophy that requires you to trap at least 5 enemies within the radius of a single smoke bomb. Now, trying to coordinate a group of heavily armed 18th century soldiers to stand nicely together can feel like herding cats. Because of that, the absolute best place to knock this out is during a ship boarding or a fort assault, where groups of enemies naturally bunch up in tight corridors and decks. Alternatively, if you're feeling particularly mischievous, you can waltz into a crowded city street or a plantation, pick a fight with local patrols, and let them cluster around you like protective pigeons before dropping your ordnance. Throw down the smoke, watch half a dozen guards instantly lose all object permanence, and snap up this delightfully simple crowd control achievement. Next, let's focus on our local wildlife management with Double Tap, which challenges your reflexes against the most aggressive house cats the Caribbean has to offer. To find your furry sparring partners, take a trip over to Abaco Island. Now, despite what the trophy description might lead you to believe, you don't actually need to track down 2 separate animals to pull this off. You can farm both parries off one single extremely frustrated ocelot. When the beast lunges at you, hit the parry button to bat it away. If you time it right, it will send the animal sprawling backward without a scratch on Edward. From there, simply walk a step closer to bait another attack, wait for the second lunge, and parry it immediately again. Nail the timing twice in a row, survive the encounter with all your fingers intact, and claim your trophy! Rounding out our naval combat drills, we have Return the Favor, a trophy that asks you to give a hostile enemy a taste of their own medicine by dash ramming a rival brig. Now, before you go trying to play chicken with the Spanish Navy, you have some prerequisites to check off. First, you need to recruit the officer known as the Padre to unlock the exclusive Ram Dash ability. You'll also need at least the first Iron Ram upgrade installed on your hull, which you can pick up from any harbor master. With your crew ready, sail out into regions like Gibara or Eleuthera, or just rack up a wanted level 1 to let them hunt you, and look for a medium-sized brig equipped with its own bow ram. Wait for the enemy to sound its distinct horn and charge right at you, then fire back by triggering your Ram Dash. Time it right, brace for the violent impact, and send that rival captain straight to the bottom.
Now, and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Who did this?
This is my fault. Bishop Ravenscroft was the man who led me to God. He was like a father to me. He believed in me. It was he who entrusted me with the care of the people here. When trouble with the Protestants began at Kingston, he wanted more Catholics there. He called on us to join him, but I argued against it. With Dukas gone, I thought we were safe. We were only here because I disagreed with the bishop. It was them, Dukas's men. They made me watch. The Lord is merciful and just, but my heart is deceitfully wicked. I know vengeance belongs to God alone, but I cannot turn away from this. Ducas's men must pay for what they've done. Will you help me?
My offer still stands. Join me on the Jackdaw and we will hunt Ducas's men. We have a compound at Great Inagua. Your people will be safe there.
I will join you as Master-at-Arms. And when the time comes, I will avenge my people.
Branching out into our stealth assassination techniques, we have the Hangman, a trophy that requires you to string up 10 enemies using nothing more than a rope dart and a good sense of verticality. The rope dart itself is entirely unmissable, as it is automatically added to your inventory during sequence 3 of the story. Once you have it in your arsenal, the setup is delightfully simple. Find a vantage point up high, whether it's a sturdy tree branch or an elevated wooden beam, and make sure you remain completely undetected. Wait for an unsuspecting target to wander underneath your perch, lock on, and deploy the rope dart. Edward will hoist the guard up into the air, leaving him dangling like a grim piñata until the job is done. Repeat this 10 times across the lush island forests or enemy outposts, and you'll have this executioner's trophy locked down. Next, expanding into our island management portfolio, we have Governor, a trophy that tasks you with turning your dusty pirate cove into a thriving, fully functioning community by restoring all the buildings in Great Inagua Village. You first gain access to your private island headquarters after wrapping up Sequence 4, Mission 1, This Old Cove. Once you're settled in, you can track down the local shopkeepers stationed right around the harbor and invest your hard-earned plunder into fixing up the village. Now, you don't need to empty your bank account fully maxing out every single property. To unlock the trophy, you only need to restore the first level of all 7 buildings in the village, including just the base tier for larger operations like the general store and harbor master, while the remaining smaller buildings only have a single level to begin with. Leave the expensive manor facade upgrades for another day, get your local economy up and running, and claim your mayoral bragging rights. Eradicating Imperial oversight across the Caribbean takes more than just a well-armed ship, which brings us straight to King of the Castle, a trophy requiring you to seize control of all 11 heavily defended forts. Marked on your map by ominous red tower icons, these strongholds demand a 2-phase assault strategy. First, you'll sail the Jackdaw right into the danger zone, using your heavy broadsides and mortars to systematically turn their stone defensive towers into rubble. Once the cannon fire dies down and the fortifications are breached, you'll dock your ship, storm the compound on foot alongside your crew, and hack your way through the remaining garrison to seize the command room. Conquer all 11 bastions, rid the map of those pesky red zones, and crown yourself the ultimate ruler of the high seas. Exploring the local nightlife culture in Black Flag isn't just about enjoying the tropical ambiance. Sometimes it requires a complete commitment to overindulgence. That brings us to Hungover, a delightfully messy trophy that tasks Edward with blacking out and waking up in a haystack. To kick off your impromptu pub crawl, head over to any tavern located on the inhabited islands across the map. Belly up to the bar and interact with the bottle sitting on the counter to start ordering drinks. Edward has a fairly impressive constitution, so you can't just sip a single tankard and call it a night. You'll need to keep drinking at least 5 times in rapid succession until the screen distorts and the game forces your character to pass out entirely. Survive the inevitable splitting headache, crawl out of your prickly hiding spot, and claim your trophy for the ultimate night out. Testing out Edward Kenway's lung capacity away from any cramped cargo holds, we have Ed the Diver, a trophy that tasks you with swimming a cumulative total of 1,000 meters underwater. Now, there is a very specific catch to keep in mind. While you'll spend plenty of time holding your breath inside dark, claustrophobic shipwrecks for loot, those specific underwater wreckage zones actually exclude distance from tracking toward this goal. You need to log your distance swimming through open water diving sites, reefs, and sea caves. Fortunately, you don't need to strap on a snorkel and swim a kilometer in one grueling marathon session. The distance tracks continuously throughout your entire playthrough, adding up every time you explore a new underwater location. Between hunting down hidden treasures, navigating sunken tunnels, and soaking in the marine life, you will likely unlock this completely naturally before your pirate adventure comes to an end. Keep paddling, watch your oxygen meter, and claim your deep sea achievement. Proving that violence is indeed a valid communication tool, we have Let Me Explain, a trophy that requires you to follow up a single perfect parry with a lightning-fast chain of 4 consecutive takedowns. Before you start swinging, you'll need to check your inventory and make sure Edward is actually holding the right gear. You need to equip a sword that explicitly supports a maximum of 4 takedowns, which you can verify by hovering over your weapon stats in the menu. Once your loadout is sorted, find a nice crowded skirmish. Forts and shipboardings are absolute prime real estate for this. Wait for an enemy to initiate a blue glowing counterable attack, tap your parry button to stun them, and then rapidly input 4 takedowns in a row. You have to move with absolute urgency here, as the window to chain your executions is razor thin. Land all 4 strikes while the crowd is still reeling, and you'll school the opposition in style. Pushing our tactical creativity to its absolute breaking point, we have Overdesig IV, a trophy that asks you to combine chemistry, poison, and a swift boot to stage an accidental swimming lesson for an unfortunate crewmate. Both tools required for this feat are completely unmissable story unlocks. You'll pick up the smoke bomb back in sequence 2, and the berserk dart follows shortly after in sequence 4. To pull this off, damage an enemy ship, trigger a boarding sequence, and find a crowded deck. Tag one of the guards with a berserk dart so he turns on his own allies with a glowing purple marker over his head. Instantly follow that up by dropping a smoke bomb right at his feet to obscure the chaos, sprint through the fog, and kick him into the drink. For the cleanest results, try targeting an enemy stationed up on the higher rigging or the fighting top, as a well-placed kick from above guarantees a long, satisfying plunge straight into the sea. Master the art of chaotic chemistry, send your foes flying overboard, and wrap up your trophy hunting in style. Proving that notoriety is a double-edged sword, we have Hunter Hunted, a trophy that challenges you to bite the hand that feeds by destroying a pirate hunter ship while your wanted level is maxed out at level 4. To kick things off, you'll need to go on a bit of a maritime rampage. Sink merchant vessels, raid coastal shipping lanes, and keep blowing up ships until that red wanted meter in the corner hits its absolute maximum peak of level 4. Once you cross that threshold, elite pirate hunter ships will actively spawn and hunt you down across the open ocean. Because these hunters punch well above the weight class of standard patrol boats, you'll want to make sure the Jackdaw is packing some serious firepower. Fully upgrading your hull, cannons, and heavy shot will save you a lot of grief, and don't forget to casually board other ships out on the waves if you need a quick mid-combat hull repair. Pick your fight, outgun the Navy's elite enforcers, and send them straight to a watery grave. Testing our strategic prowess outside of swordplay and naval combat, we have Grandmaster, a trophy that requires you to conquer every single unique tavern game hidden throughout the islands. There are 3 different board and gambling games waiting for you in local taverns: Fantan, Nine Men's Morris, and Checkers. Fortunately, the game gods are merciful on this one. Each activity features 3 difficulty tiers ranging from 1 star to 3 stars, but you only need to secure a single victory on the easiest 1-star setting to check it off your list. If you ever walk into a tavern and find the gaming table completely empty or locked down, don't worry. Just belly up to the bar, buy a drink to rile up the locals, throw a few quick punches to clear the room, and the minigame option will immediately open up for you. Master the boards, outsmart your tavern opponents across all 3 games, and claim your title as the ultimate Caribbean tactician. Putting our administrative skills to the test, we have Zero Waste, a trophy that requires you to play Master Archivist by restoring a complete treasure map from scattered pieces. Before you can start piecing puzzles together, you'll need to head back to your home base in Great Inagua, unlocked right after Sequence 4, Mission 1, and fund the construction of the treasure dealer shop. Once he's set up in business, you'll see 5 distinct maps available for restoration, provided you've tracked down all of their hidden fragments out in the world. Here is the kicker. Piecing these maps together demands a massive stockpile of rare building and crafting materials. To avoid a grueling grind, your best bet is to lean heavily on Kenway's fleet, sending your captured brigs out on lucrative piracy missions to rake in the resources automatically, or simply hunting down merchant ships on the high seas. You only need to fully restore a single map out of the 5 options to check this box, so pick your favorite, gather your materials, and unlock your next big treasure hunt. Bracing ourselves for what is easily one of the most maddening pieces of RNG design in the entire game, we have Last to Leave, a trophy that asks you to find a burning shipwreck and casually take a seat while everything goes up in smoke. As you sail the Caribbean, you'll occasionally stumble upon random burning ship events marked by a white icon when you get close, operating on a strict 5-minute timer, much like royal convoys. These aren't ships you engage in combat, they are pre-wrecked, drifting hazards littered with lootable cargo boxes. The catch here is pure, unadulterated lottery luck. These events are already rare spawns on their own, but on top of that, there is roughly a 5% chance that a burning ship will actually spawn with a chair on deck. Some players might stumble across one completely by accident within their first few hours, while others can sink 50 hours into the game without ever seeing a single piece of viable furniture. Keep your eyes peeled for those white icons on the horizon, pray to the RNG gods, and cross your fingers that your burning death trap comes with comfortable seating. Next up, for our ultimate maritime trials, we have Devil of the Caribbean, a trophy that demands you square off against and sink all 5 of the most terrifying, overpowered bosses the open ocean has to offer. Once you finish capturing the various forts scattered across the map, these 5 legendary ships will reveal themselves marked by distinct white ship icons lurking way out in the extreme corners of your map. Do not go into these fights lightly, as they are easily the hardest combat encounters in the entire game. Before you even think about setting sail for them, make sure the Jackdaw is completely maxed out with every armor, cannon, and mortar upgrade you can buy. Otherwise, you are going to have a very bad time and find yourself at the bottom of the sea in seconds. Bring your absolute A game, manage your cooldowns, and cement your legacy by purging these legendary terrors from the Caribbean. Descending into the pitch-black fathoms of the Caribbean, we have Davy Jones' Locker, a trophy that dares you to seek out and touch the absolute lowest geographical point on the entire map. You'll unlock access to this subterranean nightmare right after completing Sequence 6, Mission 1, Diving for Medicines, which automatically marks the underwater shipwreck known as the Black Trench in the Castillo de Jaguar region and gifts you the crucial diving bell. Drop anchor, hop into the bell, and let it lower you down into the abyss. Once you step out onto the seabed, swim over to the large shipwreck near the central air barrel, take a deep breath, and point your compass straight down into the darkest, deepest fracture of the trench. At the very bottom, you'll find a broken, forgotten diving bell resting in the silt. Swim right up to it, circle it a few times if the game takes a moment to register your depth, and claim your trophy from the crushing dark. Scouring the dark, watery graves scattered across the Caribbean, we have 7 Deadly Seas, a trophy that tasks you with hunting down every single treasure chest hidden within the map's underwater shipwrecks. Across the high seas, you'll find 7 distinct diving locations marked on your map by iconic white diving bell symbols. Once you drop anchor and descend into the abyss, your minimap and vision will guide the way. Swimming near the chests will automatically flag them with objective markers so you don't miss a single piece of loot. In total, you'll be cracking open 68 chests across these aquatic mazes, broken down into 61 standard chests and 7 high-value secret chests. Keep a close eye on your oxygen meter, watch out for roaming sharks, and pillage every last wreckage site to clean out the ocean floor. Transforming your humble pirate ship into an absolute floating fortress, we have Ship This, a trophy that requires you to unlock every single max tier upgrade available for the Jackdaw. Before you can even begin chasing peak naval engineering, you'll need to upgrade the Harbor Master shop located at your hideout in Great Inagua. On top of that, you'll need to track down all 12 elusive ultimate plans hidden across the Caribbean, the vast majority of which are tucked away inside those dangerous underwater shipwrecks we just talked about. Every single component, from heavy mortar upgrades to reinforced armor plating and broadside cannons, demands a hefty mountain of reales and rare crafting materials. Keep plundering merchant ships, dispatching Kenway's fleet, and diving into the depths until your ship is completely maxed out. Indulging in a bit of petty, unprovoked property damage, we have Edward Catway, a delightfully silly trophy that challenges you to take out your frustrations on 50 innocent potted plants. To rack up your botanical body count, simply use your melee attacks to smash the terracotta pots scattered across the verandas of your Great Inagua Manor or hidden throughout the various colonial towns. Now, don't try to cheese this by finding one single pot and repeatedly whacking the shards. The game keeps track of individual locations, meaning you'll need to destroy 50 distinct pots across different spots on the map. Channel your inner destructive house cat, leave a trail of gardening disaster across the Caribbean, and claim your trophy. Witnessing the bittersweet tides of history catch up to the Brotherhood of Pirates, we have In a World Without Gold, a milestone trophy tied directly to completing Sequence 8 Memory 1. Because this is a core narrative chapter, you don't need to worry about hunting down specific collectibles, grinding out resources, or solving obscure puzzles. Just play through the main storyline missions until you reach the emotional climax of this specific memory. Grab your popcorn, experience one of the most unforgettable narrative turning points in the entire game, and one of the most memorable lines in the history of gaming, and let the story naturally unlock your next achievement. Fulfilling your inner urge to check every single box and fill out every inch of fog on the screen, we have Cartographer, a massive tracking trophy that requires you to visit every single location in the game. To turn that map completely blue and uncover every secret, you'll need a mix of steady story progress and thorough exploration. First, you have to play through the main campaign to unlock all the story-exclusive areas that are otherwise cordoned off. From there, you'll need to set sail and physically visit every single white question mark icon scattered across the ocean. You also need to sail close enough to all 11 forts to trigger their defensive ratings on your UI, though you thankfully don't have to conquer them all just to count the visit. And dive down into every underwater shipwreck, which automatically populate on your map after Sequence 6 Mission 1. Plot your course, leave no stone or island unturned, and cement your legacy as the ultimate explorer of the Caribbean. Wrapping up our grim expedition through an island's darkest corners, we have Blow the Man Down, a trophy that tasks you with cutting down the macabre decorations strung up across Long Bay. You won't be able to tackle this one right away, as you first need to advance the main narrative to reach Long Bay during Sequence 10 Mission 3. Once you've unlocked the area, it remains permanently marked on your map, allowing you to fast travel back whenever you please. Scattered across the landscape are 3 bodies hanging from elevated ropes. To clear them, get close, equip your rope dart, and fire at the ropes to snap them, dropping each body safely to the ground. Clean up the island's haunting pathways, check off your final exploration tasks, and enjoy the fruits of your pirate journey. Building a legendary crew capable of conquering the high seas takes more than just rounding up random scallywags from a tavern, which brings us to All Hands on Deck, a trophy that requires you to track down and recruit every single specialized officer in the game. Throughout your journey across the Caribbean, you'll need to seek out 3 specific key characters by completing their dedicated officer quests and side storylines. These trusted commanders don't just fill out your roster, they bring invaluable passive bonuses and unlock crucial naval abilities, like the Ram Dash and Perfect Brace, that are very helpful if you want to survive the tougher encounters out on the open ocean. Track down each officer across their respective locations, complete their trials, and unite the ultimate crew under your captain's banner.
Come now. It looks as if our island is doing you some good.
Appearance only. My wounds won't be cured. I will be dead soon.
You say you're dying. I say we all chance death at every turn. I'm in need of a master gunner with your skill. Join us. For as little or as long as may be. You might live longer than you expect.
That is true.
But I should know your real name. I can't have my master gunner answering to dead man.
Tobias. My name was Tobias Smith.
Smith, then. Now, let's get back to the others. I do not share your fondness for graves.
Shattering the grand ambitions of the Ancient Order once and for all, we have A Splinter, a major narrative milestone tied directly to completing Sequence 12, Memory 5. Because this marks the dramatic climax of the main storyline, you won't have to worry about complex puzzles, resource grinding, or hitting collectibles to trigger it. Simply play your way through the final campaign missions and experience the epic conclusion to Edward's sweeping adventure. Sit back, enjoy the cinematic wrap-up to the core saga, and celebrate bringing a definitive end to the Templar plot.
You're a good man, Edward. And if you learn to keep settled in one place for more than a week, you'll make a fine father too. Of all the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company, and all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me.
Curating a proper gallery of friends, foes, and fallen legends inside your coastal estate, we have the Memory of My Enemy, a trophy that requires you to hunt down and display all 11 character portraits within the Great Inagua Manor. Unlike standard collectibles, these portraits won't magically reveal themselves on your map just by synchronizing viewpoints. You actually have to physically wander close enough for their white portrait icons to trigger on your minimap. Because certain portraits won't even spawn until you've pushed far enough through the campaign, your best bet is to wait until the main story is completely wrapped up before going on a dedicated hunt across the islands. Once you've tracked down every single frame-worthy face, head back home to the manor, interact with the blank walls, and turn your sprawling estate into a true monument to your pirate legacy. Proving that even a ruthless pirate captain has a soft spot for the local fauna, we have Friend to All, a heartwarming trophy that requires you to track down and interact with all 8 friendly animals scattered across the world. To check every creature off your list, you'll need to look in a few different habitats. You can pet a cat and a monkey right on board your own ship once you've acquired them, while a friendly sea turtle can be found waiting for you on the sandy shores of Cape Bonavista. For the remaining 5 land animals, dogs, pigs, chickens, cows, and parrots, you'll want to hit the cobblestone streets and farms of the major colonial towns. Walk right up to each one and trigger the interaction prompt to say hello. Take a quick break from pillaging the high seas, spread some love to the local wildlife, and unlock one of the coziest achievements in the entire game. Proving that hunting the ocean's most terrifying apex predator requires nerves of steel and absolute precision, we have Perfect Predator, a trophy that challenges you to land a flawless harpoon strike on a great white shark. You'll find a dedicated great white harpooning location waiting for you in the cruise region, automatically flagged on your map with a white harpoon icon once you sail close enough. Hop into the rowboat and prepare for a tense showdown. To pull off the coveted perfect shot, aim your weapon, hold down the trigger, and watch the reticle closely as it emits a sharp pulse and rapidly constricts. You need to release the button right as the circle shrinks to its smallest sweet spot. Strike too early or hold on for a fraction of a second too long and you'll miss the critical window. Master the timing, pierce the beast with lethal accuracy, and conquer the ultimate hunter of the deep. Bracing ourselves for what is universally considered the single most agonizing, soul-crushing completionist grind in the entire game, we have Dilettante, a trophy that requires you to completely fill every single art collection and equipment slot inside the Great Inagua Manor. Once you unlock your home base during Sequence 4, you'll discover a massive checklist of interior decorating. You need to track down and mount 9 paintings, 7 table decorations, 2 large table decorations, 3 pieces of furniture, 27 shelf decorations, 1 special outfit, 18 swords, 12 pistols, and 20 ship models. Weapons can be bought or found, and portraits and paintings are earned through side quests, warehouse raids, and general world exploration. The absolute nightmare of this trophy, however, lies in 19 random art pieces required for the shelf and furniture slots that are locked exclusively behind Kenway's fleet, requiring you to send brigs out on long piracy missions and pray to the RNG gods. Because drop rates plummet the closer you get to finishing your collection, you'll likely find yourself performing endless save scumming before mission reports just to roll a single valid quest. It takes immense patience, relentless fleet management, and nerves of steel, but once every weapon rack is stocked and every wall is covered, you can finally kick back as the ultimate pirate interior designer. Conquering the high seas, unearthing every sunken secret, surviving endless hours of brutal RNG, and proving your mastery over the entire Caribbean, we reach the final destination: prizes, plunder, and adventure. Unlocking every single trophy in Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced is no small feat. It demands dedication, incredible patience through the most stubborn grinds, and a true pirate's resolve. With every board game won, every legendary ship sent to the ocean floor, every portrait hung, and every last collectible claimed, the ultimate prize is finally yours. Take a bow, Captain Kenway. You've earned every bit of pirate glory. Enjoy your well-deserved platinum trophy. And there you have it, a complete roadmap to conquering the Caribbean and claiming every single trophy in Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Whether you're smooth sailing through the main campaign or losing your sanity trying to farm those final fleet art pieces and burning ship spawns, we hope this video helped make your journey to the platinum a little less painful and a lot more rewarding. If you enjoyed this, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more trophy hunts and gaming content, and let us know down in the comments which achievement gave you the biggest headache. Until next time, keep your cutlasses sharp, your sails full, and happy hunting, captains.
Caution's nothing without charisma. Or if a man plays the fool, then it's only fools he'll persuade, but appear to be the devil. And all men will submit.
And would you be the devil?
We're an audience. Aye. It's all a big show. Give your quarry something to fear. Some hellish thing from a fever dream. And men will drop to their knees, pleading for their lord before all else.
Oh, God.
It looks fine.
Of course it does.